video game, should we? I'm going to jump in with some Dungeons of Hinterberg because that's the big one of the week. That's the sort of more recent one out of the lot I've got on my list. I didn't expect to like it. I don't know if you guys watched the trailer and stuff before it came out, and if you sort of had any interest in it before it coming out. It's shown at some game Xbox showcase and stuff. And I just something about it. I was like, that doesn't look like it's for me at all. So I just sort of didn't give it a second thought. We got offered a review code, or Corey asked to review it, but he ended up being away, so he couldn't do it. So I was like, do you know what? I'll just give it a go. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? And I fucking it again. It's like Dragon's Dogma all over again. I'm having a great time. It's not as good as Dragon's Dogma 2, obviously, but yeah, I'm having a great time.
Anything's better than Dragon Dogma.
It's like it's sort of Zelda-ish with a bit of one of the guys.
It's a better version of Dragon's Dogma 2.
It's got a bit of Dragon's Dogma to it, a bit of Zelda, a bit of like I think the guy was saying like Persona, like social stuff. So you got to chat to people. It's got, and I'm
oh dear.
I was hesitant to say this next phrase, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Uh-oh.
For me, it's got very Lake vibes. Like it's just a nice game you can play and just chill out. It's not too stressful, not too difficult. Even like the dungeons gradually get harder and harder, as you imagine. They've all got different difficulty levels assigned to them. But if you work through them in order and make sure you upgrade your stats and get some new weapons, nothing's really too much of a challenge. The only times I've really died is when I've jumped off the world rather than into like deep water because you can't swim, rather than actually dying in combat. The combat's a little bit weak itself. Like you've got a sword attack where you do heavy and light attacks. That side of it's a bit like by the numbers, but you get what are called attack conduits, and each set of dungeons has got its own specific couple of powers. So the first one you get like a big like wrecking ball which explodes. You can drop down, and also you get a chain that you can grab enemies and pull them towards you like Scorpion. And in those set of dungeons, all the puzzles are designed around those two powers. And then obviously the combat encounters, you could use them as well as attack conduits. And attack conduits, you can have up to 3, and you can swap them out when you're not in combat. So I've got ones that deal like a meteor shower, one that deals like explosive butterflies, I think they call them, but it's just basically like a napalm strike type thing. And then a few other ones that I swap and change. But yeah, that side of the combat, when you're not just hacking and slashing, is actually a lot of fun. You just have to like build up your meters because they're on like a cooldown timer. The puzzles themselves, again, nothing that's really going to tax you. It's not like you're going to be sitting there scratching your head going, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing right now? But it's very, like I said, like Zelda dungeons. So you'll see, the exit gate way in the distance, and then in between there's a load of doorways and levers and switches and all sorts of gubbins in the way to try and figure out. And excuse me, some of the levels are just more straightforward, like push this block onto this switch to open this door, and some of them start. Some of the later ones I've been playing yesterday, like you rotate parts of the level, so it's almost like a. Anyone ever played Captain Toad? I don't know why I'm asking that question. I feel like that's a stupid question.
What? No.
Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker? No. Okay, fair enough. Well, it reminds me that it's basically like isometric, but you can rotate certain sections of the world to make new pathways and stuff, and it's really clever. But it's not. Like I said, you're not going to be sitting there going, I can't figure it out, because you've got like 2 options of what you need to do at all times. So it's not overly complicated. The days themselves in the game are broken up into 4. So in the morning, you have a little chat with someone. Once you upgrade it, you can get a little buff for the rest of the day. So you can get extra health or extra magic power. Noon, you get to do the dungeon itself. So you go into like a semi-open world, and you have to find the dungeons, and within that semi-open world there's other combat scenarios, there's other puzzles, there's spots where you can rest and like get extra stats like health or magic or defense, stuff like that. But you can only do one thing a day. So if you don't do a dungeon and you rest and get some extra health, like boost your health, then you have to wait till the next day to come back and try a dungeon. And then in the evening, you get to go around the town, and you get to pick, again, one person to sort of hang out with if you want to. So I think there's 16 people in total, that like the main characters. And again, you get to pick one, and each one has a certain skill tree attached to them. So you might get an extra health slot, an extra attack conduit slot, your damage might be increased, stuff like that. Some of them are more useful than others. Like one of them unlocks the photo mode. I was like, I'm not doing that. you can keep your photo mode. I'd rather have something to help me in the actual
Usually
gameplay.
throw that in unlock jukebox mode.
Yeah, and you don't have to do any of it. It's optional, so you could just skip it and go back to the evening of the day, which is when you go to bed, and you can choose to upgrade some stats rather than sleeping as a punishment to your health the next day. And initially, I wasn't overly keen on this aspect. I'd rather have almost done it more traditional, like get skill points and assign them to what you want. But as I've been playing, I've actually quite enjoyed, obviously, chatting to people. As you know, I love a bit of a chat, but I've quite enjoyed the way it forces you to focus on one rather than the other. So rather than just getting 10 skill points and you'd be like, right, I'll have a bit of extra health, I'll have a bit of extra, you actually have to go through and decide what you want to focus on at a time, and then plan your next day around what you've just upgraded, whether you got new weapons or extra abilities, stuff like that. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. I mean, the writing's very, very simple. It's not like you're going to be writing home to your family going, this is the greatest narrative I've ever heard of, but it's enjoyable enough. So simple, like I said, very Lake vibes of it. And yeah, I've been enjoying it way more than I ever thought I would do. I did hope to write my review today, but I ended up eating too many chicken wings and falling asleep. So I'm probably going to do that tomorrow or Tuesday. But yeah, really, really enjoying it. Way more than I thought I would. So it's out on Game Pass. It came out, was it 16th? I think it was not a few days ago.
Yeah, it came out recently.
So yeah, if you're even remotely interested, I'd highly suggest giving it a go. Yeah, I think it's going to be not necessarily in my top 5 of the year, but it's certainly going to be higher up on my list than I ever imagined it would do. So yeah, I would go play Dungeons of Hinterberg. If I sold it to anyone, obviously I know you all love a bit of Lake.